Thunder Blows Online TV. Thunder Blows.
The Honorable Admin Secretary and other HODs here present, the Chairman MEJ, Malam Ibrahim Musa, and other officials, members of the press representing various media houses in Zamfara State. Good morning, all. It is my pleasure to meet you this morning to brief you on the current activities in Inec Zamfara State Office in preparation for the 2023 general elections. There are many items to be discussed, but I will limit myself to 3 or 4 items. The items that I'll address, even briefly, include 1, display of voters register. Number 2, checking and assessing racks, super racks, and collation centers. Number 3, receiving non-sensitive materials for distribution to all the 14 local governments in Zamfara State. There are other issues which we may touch depending on time, like recruitment of ad hoc staff and the security situation in the state. There are many other issues. Perhaps if you ask questions, we will address all those. But for now, the 3 items I listed are the ones that are currently going on. Of course, there are other things going on, also training of our staff at various levels. There's a lot of training going on now. Some of us, you can see some of the even HODs are away for training. So I will, maybe all that is in preparation for the coming election. Today is Wednesday, 9th. On Saturday, 12th of November, the voters register 2011 and 22 registers will be displayed in the Inec office, head office here in this office, as well as in all the 14 local government areas in Zamfara State. And also all the areas, that is reception area, in all the areas, that is ward levels, in all over the state. It is important for us, for the public, to check the registers, and one to ensure first his or her name is included, and if included, to check the spellings and other details, whether they are present and whether they are correct or they are incorrectly written, and to that is one, to make that is one, to check to see that everything is in order. If it is in order, you don't have to do anything. You are satisfied that what you have laid is accurate and you have been captured. If, on the other hand, you have been omitted, then you can also require those taken to come with the slips. I mean the slips you are given during the registration, or actually your voter card, if you are not coming for the 2021-22 register. These are the, if you are to make any claim or objection, we require that evidence that you have actually registered, or actually you are already registered, that is before 2021, or actually have actually registered between 21 and 22. And then, of course, the second one is to make objections. Objections is that you can observe not only your own name, but other names. One may notice, for example, that someone has died but is still captured. If that is so, for example, if someone you claim to have died and has already been captured, then that is an objection, and then there is a form to be filled, and there is a process take place. Then, of course, you can also make an objection on if you notice that some of those registered are underaged. They have not reached the age of 18, which is the required date for to be eligible, the eligibility date for registration. One can make objection. And other thing, or some other reasons that you think they should not be actually, or they are not indigenous of Nigeria. One, all this, a voter can make such objections, and that there would be a necessary form would be given to you, and there will be an INEC officer who will interact with you, see your evidence, help you to fill the form, and the objections received and the claims received will all be collected at the end of the exercise on Saturday, 25th of November, and will forward same to Abuja. The aim of this is to verify what we have done, and to make it more legal, more authentic, by giving Nigerians benefit of checking it themselves and making necessary corrections or even objections to what we have done. This will further give authority and validity to what we have done. Of course, if I may go back a little, you remember that for 11 months between June 2021 and 31st of July 2022, members of the public who are qualified to register were invited. Those who have not registered at all and those who have reached the age of 18 came to our various offices in the headquarters as well as in the local governments and registered. At the end of the day, as you are aware, Inec is innovative. We have been introducing and has been backed by law new technology to assist us in give a scientific basis for recording and gathering our data necessary for election. It is in line with that VVS was introduced, and other innovations that we have engaged. Now, after the registration, on our own part, from scientific point of view, we have checked and ensured that all those who voted, who registered more than once, were made invalid. And the ones that we are going to displace are the ones that we have checked that there are no double registrations. I think we have, during the period of the exercise, we have held press conferences, press releases, interacted with the members of the public to enlighten them on that you don't need to register if you already a registered voter. And but those who, for whatever reason, out of mistake or out of any other reason, registered more than once, our scientific technology were able to weed them out, and the ones that we have done actually are those that we're sure from our own end are valid. But that is not enough. The public ought to also participate in further validating the voters register, and that's why what we have now is a preliminary voters register that we are going to display, but the final one will come after November 25th, when actually all the objections are taken and all were entered into our database, and those valid claims and objections are entertained. At that time, then we would have actually the final voter register, which all the cards will be printed and be brought to the state office for onward transmission to the various local governments in the state. So we at INEC and you as our partners in ensuring democracy in Nigeria, we implore you to further enlighten the public on the need for them to check the registers to make sure that their names were there, to make any corrections and objections. And it's very important to us so that the final register of voters to be soon to be made available. The cards are made available as soon as the corrections and objections are entertained. And we hope that will be within the next 3 to 4 weeks. We'll be able to have the data ready for collection by all those who need to collect. What I mean by that is that you are aware, of course, there are those whose registration is since 2011, and those are by far the bulk majority. Those ones, there are still a number, thousands of cards that have not been collected, and that collection has been going on all the time. Even during the registration, the collection of those 2011 and earlier cards were still going on side by side. But there are also those, and even also those who corrections were made on their existing cards. Those ones are also brought to us, and we are also being actually now being issued out at our various offices. The ones that will now be brought are the new ones, the ones that register afresh in between 2021 to 2. Those ones, at the time when the time comes, we will also seek your support in publicizing that and inviting. We'll also hold several brief appearances and brief presence and so on, so that members could mobilize, for them to come and apply their cards. And of course, we always rely on you, the media houses, the other stakeholders, including the traditional rulers, the religious leaders, independent organizations, MDOs, and so on, for us to actually publicize what we are doing, to come and inquire for us, and then actually to help us in achieving credible, transparent election in 2023. Also, right now, our second item, we are now also checking out. We have just finished the training for our officers from all the 14 local governments and headquarters on the places that we are going to conduct the election. In particular, RACs. RACs are residing area centers. They are located normally in public buildings in all the RAs, that is in all the wards, in all the local governments. In one local government, there are 10 wards or 10 or 11 wards also. In all those, there will be a center, a primary school, a public institution, where our personnel, that is Inec personnel, both Inec staff and ad hoc staff, will be housed, will be camped. And the material to be used for election will be camped in those areas. Now, and of course, the other super RACs are the ones that actually it will involve more than one RA, that is one ward, when actually a large public school, which contains many classrooms and so on, that can contain actually the materials for more than one ward, that is more than one ward. That's an RA. So those are super RACs. Now, as you are aware, the last time we used those ones 2019, during 2019 general election. But from then to now, for one thing, we have to assure of how good are they now. Are they good enough? do they satisfy the Inec criteria for being a rack or not? But in any case, we have between 20 and 2019 and to date, we have also added new polling units. We are going to talk about later also. New polling units, which means there is need also for more racks. So we need also to decide on additional racks to the ones that are present and to assess the ones that are now there, that the one that we used in 2019. Now we are checking them to ensure that they're in good order. Those because of natural disasters like storms, and other natural disasters, or even because of banditry, some of the institutions, we want to assess how they are to ensure that there will be no problem when we come to do the election in 2019. And that's very important to us. There is a detailed procedure, a detailed list of criteria which each rack must contain. Major ones include fencing, fencing, and the condition of the rooms, flow. I mean the flow, and other conditions will make even if it's only one day, but then human beings are going to sleep there. So we make sure that actually they are good enough for them to house personnel and material. And there are lots of other details, technical details, which we had to retrain our staff to ensure that they are in good order. And of course, also, like I said, the possibility of additional racks and super racks that you are going to have. Also, of course, in addition to racks, also the collation centers. Collation centers are where after the election, on the election day, results are brought to that collation center, where the all the results from various polling units are now added to get to the total votes for each and every party, and so on at that particular level. Uh, and then also, so that those centers, they are required to be. They are normally more of administrative headquarters, administrative areas, but they are not like that. Nobody's living there. They'll go there for a few hours, probably few hours, and they leave them. But they have to know also their conditions, their adequacy, and so on and so forth. We have already started. Of course, we are preparing. It's only just about 100 days between now and general election. We have already started receiving non-sensitive materials. This is necessary because of the huge number. There are more than 126 items that will be received from the headquarters to state officers, and then finally to local government officers. And these materials, prior to that, we had to work on our stock. We have to make also a format, I mean a guideline on what our stock should contain. We have to weed out all that is not necessary. We have to clean them. We have to make sure that they are well ventilated. We have to make a lot of preparations for receiving the non-sensitive materials that have already started coming, which are coming or now coming almost every day, and we are storing them. Actually, you can even see some of them. We have cubicles outside, uh, uh, which will soon be transporting them to the local government areas. So we have already started that. We will continue to do that, and we have trained our staff on the forms to fill, the numbers, the quantity, the quality, and the checking and cross-checking, ensuring that on the D-Day, that is on the election day, there are enough materials for everything. If there are any shortages on the way, if there are any damages on the way, we have all sorts of criteria, ensuring that by the end of the day, what we have are sufficient, and those where we need additional or replacement, all those are done in accordance to our guidelines. This is being done, and it will continue to be done until actually the last day. I mean, just days to the election, before about at least a week before the date of election, all material have been received. All material have been transferred from the state headquarters to the local government headquarters. And as aware, a day before the election, all those will have to go to the racks. And then from the rack, they go to the polling units. Let me also add on these non-sensitive materials. The sensitive materials, some of them, like ballot boxes, are housed in the CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria State Headquarters. In this case, Gusau CBN. They are not kept here in our office or anywhere else. They are kept in the central bank, and a day to the election, we will go to the CBN in Gusau, retrieve them. In that process, we'll invite members of the press, party agents, national and international observers, so that they could see and actually in line with our policy of transparency and accountability. So we witness the receiving of the sensitive materials from the central bank straight. Well, they could come here, but they can even be straight from the central bank actually to the even local government headquarters. But we'll be there, and all the necessary officials will be there, and that will be witnessed by you. But that's a day to election. So whenever we receive those ones, they will be taken directly to the central bank, where they'll be kept in their own custody. I will pause here on these items. I will invite the admin secretary or any other staff of Inec to add or to clarify some of the points I made or add. And then after that, we will also answer questions from you on these and maybe other issues that I have not touched. The Admin Secretary Alhaji Idris Muhammad, would you like to add or to clarify on some of the points I made?
Thunder Blows Online TV. Thunder Blows.